U.S. and Ukraine agrees to minerals deal, officials say. Ukraine has agreed to turn over the revenue from some of its mineral resources to the United States, an American and a Ukrainian official said on Tuesday, in a deal that follows an intense pressure campaign from President Trump that included insults and threats. In the final terms of the deal were unknown, and it was not immediately clear what, if any, Ukraine would receive in return after days of difficult, sometimes tense negotiations. President Volodymyr Zelensky of Ukraine had repeatedly pressed for security guarantees for his country in exchange for mineral rights as Russia's war has entered its fourth year. Previous draft agreements reviewed by New York Times included no such commitment. Trump had insisted he wanted payback for past military aid to Kiev, shifting America's alliance with Ukraine to a nakedly mercantile footing. A final translated draft of the agreement was sent to Ukraine on Tuesday, according to the American official. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and his Ukrainian counterpart, the American official said, are expected to sign the agreement first, and then Zelensky is expected to go to Washington for a signing with Trump. On Tuesday afternoon, President Trump said of Zelensky, "I hear that he's coming on Friday. Certainly it's okay with me if he'd like to." Zelensky had been pressing for days to finalize any agreement with Trump in person, but the Ukrainian leader had rejected at least one or other draft of an agreement because it lacked specific U.S. security guarantees and because Trump was requesting mineral rights worth $500 billion, along with other provisions that Ukraine considered unacceptable. The Ukrainians became more comfortable with the deal in the past few days after Americans removed some of the more onerous conditions. The discussions about mineral rights have occurred as Russia has seized the advantage on the battlefield. Trump has also aligned himself with President Putin while excoriating Zelensky. Trump has called the Ukrainian president a dictator and said that Ukraine had started the war, though the conflict began with Russia's full-scale invasion February 2022. He has prodded Zelensky to sign a deal, saying he better move faster, he's not going to have a country left. In response, Zelensky said that Trump was trapped in a Russian disinformation bubble. A testament to Trump's transactional approach to foreign affairs, the deal follows similar moves by an American president to leverage the United States' economic power in pressuring allies like Canada and Colombia to comply with or at least negotiate on his demands. Critics say a previous draft of the deal gave no consideration to the cost of what happened in Ukraine, has already paid towards Europe's broader security by defeating Russia's initial invasion, preventing a Russian military presence on NATO borders farther west. Zelensky floated the idea of a resources deal last fall to provide an incentive for more U.S. military support, but he balked at the terms presented by the Trump administration when Mr. Bassett visited Kiev, the Ukrainian capital, on February 12th. One proposal would have Ukraine repay the United States twice the value of future American aid, Zelensky said. "I'm not signing something that 10 generations of Ukrainians will have to repay," he told the news conference. Still, the Ukrainian leader acknowledged that he might ultimately have little choice. "If we were forced and we cannot do without it, then we should probably go for it," he said, amid intensifying pressure. The White House has argued that even without specific security guarantees, the mere presence of American economic interests in Ukraine would deter future Russian aggression. What better could you have for Ukraine than to be in an economic partnership with the United States? Mike Waltz, the U.S. National Security Advisor, said last week. This is from New York Times on DNYUZ. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.